Hey, it's Elliot again. It's the second day of the film festival, and quite the frustrating one. So let's hope I can keep this PG and get down to business. So I saw 5 films today, and of the 5, there was one winner, and a lot of frustration. So the last movie I saw today was just recent, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So I just want to kind of talk about that really fast. Was At Ellen's Age. It was a German film, and I understand that a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy foreign movies. They can kind of meander, you know. It's a cultural thing usually. Sometimes we have a hard time relating to that. However, I have never seen a bigger waste of time in my entire life. It's about a woman who learns that her husband slash boyfriend, I'm not too sure, she doesn't really necessarily state the, uh, the the level of the relationship that she has dissolved as her partner has cheated on her and got another woman pregnant. She kind of goes off the rails, quits her job as a stewardess with Lufthansa, and kind of joins an activist group for animal rights. And these kids that she lives with are obviously much younger than her by a good 10 years at least, if not older, if not younger, I should say. And the rest of the film is this woman meandering from one activist group to another activist group in Africa and really not accomplishing anything. Um, I've never seen a bigger waste of time in my entire life with a film that's directionless, doesn't show any sort of psychology behind the character or really accomplishing anything. Again, bigger waste of time has not existed yet. Quickly, the other films I did see today would be the Jean-Luc Godard movie, Film Socialism. A lot of people complained that there wasn't subtitles on this film. I can't say I was surprised that there weren't. I think what many people forget when they complain about this film is that Jean-Luc Godard has moved well beyond films such as Breathless, Vir sa vie, and he's done creating, somewhat touching films, and has moved on to the political, as he's done since Tout va bien, which was in the 70s. So we're looking at 30 plus years now of political films from Godard, and this is no different. Ultimately, it's a giant FU to people. Allegedly, it's his final film. I can see why. The man has reached a point now of being frustrated with cinema. Perhaps it's no longer his mode. Do I see him writing? Highly doubt it. Was it enjoyable? No. Was it frustrating? No, it wasn't. Again, these are this is a man who creates a movie from his personal view that's dated, unfortunately. He doesn't choose to keep up with the times, and that's fine. That's Godard's mode, and can't begrudge him for it. But ultimately, the film was a waste that did not need to be created. It's probably the reason why it made it to video on demand in France so quickly. After that was another French movie, The Illusionist, from the creator of Triples of Belleville, based on a script that was never produced by a legendary French director, Jacques Tati. It was an animated film, and it was a heartbreaking melodrama that was really Tati's comment on the film industry. Really, if you think about it, it was about a magician who struggles to compete with rock bands and other entertainment acts in the 50s, and he eventually becomes bled dry by a young Irish girl who takes up with him, more out of the fascination of her obsession with magic and the potential of magic. We witness this Hulot-esque character who is a magician have to take up small jobs eventually in Edinburgh to make ends meet because this young girl holds so much hope for him. And ultimately he just picks up and leaves, with the closing note, which was very poignant, that magicians don't exist. And It was a heartbreaking film, but ultimately it was seen as a Tati's greatest hits, if you could call it that. Everything that was very Tati-esque, I guess you could call it. I'm saying Tati way too much. Um, made made this film, from shots that resemble playtime to the blatant inclusion of Mon Oncle. Was it fun? Well, it was fun. Definitely not near the level of Triplets of Belleville for sure. But again, as a greatest hits package, it's kind of interesting, to be honest. Um, After that, Jack Goes Boating, Philip Seymour Hoffman's directorial debut. Typically, Philip Seymour Hoffman is a quality actor. In this film, he was sincerely lacking. It's based on a stage play, which Hoffman was also in, so you figure his familiarization with the source material would be quite strong. However, he fails in adapting the stage version to film by focusing too much on the exteriors. Taken solely as a play, Jack Goes Boating would be a fantastic film about a struggling limo driver and his loneliness and his desire to make something of his life. What really plagued the film, I found, was Hoffman's use of montage, which was used to, I guess you could say, separate acts that would be in the stage version. However, it completely loses sight. There were a few interesting moments when the film, given the close quarters, which would be more close to the stage version, represented something like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and that tension between two different couples and showcasing the stages that they are at in their lives. Then one more film, which was the only bright spot of the day, Love Crime, with Kristen Scott Thomas, about a power-hungry corporate executive who takes a junior executive under her wing, only to attempt to crush her life, which ultimately means the demise of Kristen Scott Thomas. This is ultimately two films in one, which was quite interesting. I didn't expect a film to go past this murder of Thomas as an executive and explore this other character, the woman who murdered her, ultimately her junior. Again, in my review, I called it not so much a whodunit, but a howdunit, and that's what makes the film really interesting, to see how this perfect crime unfolded to such a high degree, and it was quite a successful film, I found. Definitely something that should be worth your time, as opposed to the other four I saw today, which really, I mean, aside from The Illusionist, which will be released eventually on DVD, and I think that's probably your best bet to see that, the rest was a waste of time, and it's been a frustrating day with these screenings. It's definitely a test of patience. Hopefully tomorrow will pose to be a better day. Hope everyone's screenings are going quite well. It's Friday. Most people are probably out at TIFF parties. I'm going to go right. Take care.